Imagine living in a world of private jets, $100,000 diamond chains, and multi-million-dollar mansions, while just a few miles away, in the shadow of those very same Atlanta skyscrapers, your own flesh and blood is struggling to buy a gallon of milk. This isn't a movie plot. This is the explosive, leaked reality from 50 Cent's latest documentary chapter. Curtis Jackson hasn't just crossed the line. He has set the line on fire. The footage is grainy, the documents are stamped confidential, and the girl in the video is the spitting image of T.I., but her life is a nightmare of 9 to 5 shifts and unpaid bills. 50 Cent has just hit the nuclear button on the Harris family, revealing a secret daughter T.I. allegedly tried to bury in the concrete of Atlanta for 20 years. Why did he hide her? Why is she living in poverty while his other children flaunt stacks of cash on Instagram? The industry is paralyzed. The fans are screaming for answers, and the documents 50 just leaked? They're about to tear the king off his throne once and for all. You are not ready for what comes next. To understand the sheer magnitude of this betrayal, we have to look at the man holding the matches, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. For 20 years, 50 Cent has been the most dangerous man in entertainment. He doesn't use diss tracks anymore. He uses production budgets. He doesn't go to the radio. He goes to the editing room. After the world-shaking success of Sean Combs' The Reckoning, where he effectively dismantled Diddy's legacy frame by frame, 50 turned his sights on his longtime rival, T.I. The friction between T.I. and 50 Cent isn't just rap beef, it's a clash of civilizations. T.I. views himself as the sophisticated king, a man of the people, a philosopher-rapper who preaches family values, community uplift, and the hustle gang philosophy. 50 Cent? He sees right through it. He sees a hypocrite. For years, 50 has dropped hints. He's called T.I. a snitch, he's mocked his king persona, and he's trolled his family. But in early 2026, the trolling stopped and the warfare became industrial. T.I. was already on the ropes. Between the sexual assault allegations from 2021 that resurfaced with a vengeance and the constant bickering between his sons and the G-Unit mogul, the Harris household was a pressure cooker. T.I. tried to maintain his composure, promoting his final album Kill the King, acting as if he was untouchable. But 50 Cent was quiet. And as the industry knows, a quiet 50 Cent is a 50 Cent that is loading a clip. The background of this specific secret daughter rumor traces back to the early 2000s, a time when T.I. was rising to the top of the trap music world. While the world saw The Family Hustle on VH1, a show built on the image of a perfect, united family, insiders whispered about a woman in Atlanta. A woman T.I. allegedly knew before the fame, before the millions, and before Tiny. This woman had a child that looked exactly like the What You Know rapper. According to these leaked reports, T.I. signed a non-disclosure agreement, NDA, and paid a one-time settlement to keep this child out of the spotlight forever. Why? Because she didn't fit the brand. She wasn't part of the Tiny and Tip power couple narrative. She was a ghost. For 2 decades, she lived in the background, watching her siblings, King, Domani, and Zanique, become stars, fly in private jets, and wear designer clothes, while she worked retail jobs and lived in a neighborhood T.I. only visits for music videos. But 50 Cent, the man who never forgets a receipt, found her. He didn't just find her. He gave her a camera, a platform, and a voice. And now, the family hustle is about to look like a family fraud. 50 Cent is essentially saying that T.I.'s entire public image is a lie built on the abandonment of his own blood. As the documents began to circulate on private Discord servers and G-Unit's inner circles, the question wasn't if it would break T.I., but when. The suspense was building to a breaking point, and the world was about to witness the first piece of leaked footage that would change everything. The explosion happened at exactly 3:14 a.m. on a Tuesday. 50 Cent's Instagram lit up with a post that stayed up for exactly 7 minutes, just long enough for the entire world to screenshot it and for every major blog to go into a frenzy. It wasn't a meme. It wasn't a joke. It was a leaked video clip, watermarked with the surviving T.I. and Tiny logo, and it didn't show a celebrity party or a rap battle. The footage showed a small, cramped apartment in a rough part of Atlanta, a place the king of the South hasn't stepped foot in since he was selling tapes out of his trunk. A young woman, roughly 22 years old, sits on a worn-out sofa. She isn't wearing designer clothes. She isn't draped in diamonds. She looks exhausted, wearing a faded uniform from a local fast food chain. She looks directly into the lens, holding up a birth certificate. The name on the father's line? Clifford Joseph Harris Jr. The audio is chilling, sending a shockwave through the very foundation of the Harris family. She says, "I watched my brothers fly in private jets on TV while I was taking the bus to a job that didn't even pay enough for my rent. I reached out. I told him I was struggling. He told his lawyers to tell me that I don't exist." The internet didn't just react, it collapsed. But here is the first major twist that makes this more than just an illegitimate child's story. This isn't just about a father who forgot his daughter. It's about a king who allegedly used his power to threaten her into silence. 50 Cent didn't just leak the video. He leaked a series of legal documents and encrypted messages. One specific email, purportedly from a high-level law firm associated with T.I., dated late 2024, was the smoking gun. The email warned this young woman that if she ever stepped foot on the Harris property, spoke to the press, or even implied a familial connection to T.I. in public, they would pursue every legal avenue to ensure her total and permanent silence. Think about the betrayal. While T.I. was on national television, on podcasts, and on his own social media talking about protecting Black women, being a leader for the youth, and the importance of family legacy, he was allegedly paying thousands of dollars to high-priced lawyers to keep his own daughter in a state of fear and poverty. The emotional fallout inside the Harris household was reportedly instantaneous and violent. T.I.'s sons, King and Domani, who are usually the first to jump on Instagram Live to defend their father with aggressive rants, went dead silent. Their pages went dark. Insiders claim the Harris mansion turned into a psychological war zone. Sources close to the family claim that Tiny Harris, T.I.'s wife and partner in the Family Hustle brand, allegedly had no idea about the extent of this financial abandonment. The reports are saying she was seen leaving their mansion in tears, screaming that T.I. had lied to her for 20 years about the status of this girl. But as the world was processing this, 50 Cent followed up the leak with a caption that made the situation 10 times worse. Tip: you worried about the wrong documentary. I ain't even show the part where you stopped her from going to college because you didn't want to pay the tuition. You're a cold-blooded man. The King of the South was no longer being viewed as a legend. In the eyes of millions of viewers, he was now the king of hypocrisy. The girl, identified in the leaks only as Leah, became an overnight symbol of every person T.I. had ever preached to. If he could do this to his own blood, what was he doing to the culture? The suspense was at a fever pitch, but as the first twist settled, the world realized that 50 Cent was holding back something even bigger. The documents hinted at a secret meeting that took place in a hotel basement in 2022, a meeting T.I. thought was erased from history. But 50 Cent has the footage, and the second twist is about to change the narrative entirely. By the 48-hour mark, #TheSecretDaughter wasn't just a hashtag, it was a global digital uprising. The internet didn't just react, it went into a state of total, unbridled fury. Tasha K., the infamous industry blogger, claimed to have spoken directly to Leah's mother, who dropped a bombshell that the world wasn't ready for. She alleged that T.I. had once promised to buy them a house and provide a lifetime of security if they simply stayed out of Georgia and out of his sight. But the moment he married Tiny and the VH1 cameras started rolling for the Family Hustle, the checks stopped, the phones went dead, and the king became a ghost. The industry was in a state of paralysis. Rick Ross, a man who knows exactly how to pour petrol on a fire, posted a cryptic video of himself on a private balcony, sipping Luc Belaire and laughing. His only words? "It's getting expensive to keep secrets in Atlanta." Huh? The receipts are heavy this morning. But then came the second shocking reveal, the one that 50 Cent had been baiting the hook with. This wasn't a document or a photo. It was an audio leak. A recorded phone call between T.I. and an unnamed business associate from early 2023. In the recording, a voice that sounds hauntingly identical to T.I.'s is heard dropping all the big words and the philosopher act. He sounds cold. He sounds calculated. He says, "I got enough kids to worry about. That situation is handled. She's got a job, let her work for it." It builds character. I ain't putting my name on no more paperwork that links me to that past. My legacy is the Harris family, not some mistake from the streets. The cruelty in his voice was a physical blow to his fans. The Hustle Gang brand began to disintegrate in real time. On TikTok and X, fans started digging through over a decade of the Family Hustle episodes, finding every single moment where T.I. bragged about his 6 children, now realizing he was intentionally, surgically erasing a 7th human being from his life. Then the industry turned. A major global sneaker brand that was reportedly in the final stages of a multi-million-dollar collaboration with T.I.'s sons allegedly pulled the deal within hours of the audio leak. They didn't want their brand associated with a deadbeat king. The crisis PR person 50 Cent mockingly told T.I. to hire? Reports started circulating that 2 of the top firms in the country refused to take the case after seeing the verified birth certificate. But 50 Cent, the master of psychological warfare, wasn't done. He didn't just release the info. He started a verified GoFundMe for Leah, personally depositing the first $50,000. It was the ultimate checkmate. He was essentially telling the world, "I'm being a father to your daughter because you're too arrogant to do it yourself." T.I. finally broke his silence with a 10-minute Instagram live that felt more like a funeral. He was standing in his massive library, looking disheveled, his eyes bloodshot. He didn't deny her existence this time. Instead, he tried to use his trademark grandiloquent vocabulary to explain the nuanced complexities of the familial dynamic. But the comments were a bloodbath. Thousands of rat and trash can emojis flooded the screen. But the real cliffhanger happened in the final seconds of that live. Just as T.I. was about to sign off, a muffled voice in the background, allegedly his son King Harris, could be heard screaming in a fit of rage. "You lied to us, too, Pop. You told us she wasn't yours. You made us look like fools." T.I.'s face went pale, and the live cut out abruptly. The Harris family wasn't just under attack from 50 Cent anymore. They were eating each other alive from the inside. The world is now holding its breath because 50 Cent just posted a picture of a red folder with the caption, "Wait till you see who else was in the room when he signed that NDA." The world of hip-hop is no longer just watching a beef. It is witnessing a cultural civil war. Following the 9to5 tape leak, the digital landscape has become a battlefield where T.I.'s decades-long reputation is being dismantled stone by stone. On Reddit, TikTok, and X, the Justice for Leah movement has transformed from a hashtag into a global protest. Millions of fans are calling for an absolute boycott of T.I.'s upcoming retirement album, Kill the King. One viral TikTok, which garnered over 25 million views in less than 12 hours, put it bluntly, "T.I. wants us to kill the king? Fine. Let's start by killing his legacy. You cannot preach about the family hustle while your own blood is struggling to survive in the streets you claim to rule." The industry's elite, usually quick to take sides in a rap beef, have entered a state of terrified silence. However, the cracks are starting to show. Celebrity responses have been polarizing, creating a massive rift in the hip-hop community. The silent protest. A-list stars like Nicki Minaj and Cardi B allegedly liked a series of tweets that criticized men who curate their families for TV while abandoning their street-era children. The vocal critics. On The Breakfast Club, Charlemagne the God delivered a scathing Donkey of the Day segment, calling this the most devastating moral defeat in the history of Atlanta hip-hop. He noted, "The receipts don't lie, and right now, the king of the South looks like the king of the courthouse." The trolling peers. Rick Ross has been relentless, posting videos of himself in his Promised Land mansion, mocking T.I.'s financial priorities. Even Drake reportedly sent a private message of support to 50 Cent, which 50, in typical petty fashion, immediately screenshotted and shared for a fleeting moment before deleting. The backlash isn't just social, it is financial and institutional. Reportedly, a major global sneaker brand that was in the final stages of a multi-million-dollar endorsement deal with T.I.'s sons has officially paused all negotiations. Their internal memo, allegedly leaked to industry insiders, stated they cannot align with a brand that violates the core values of family and responsibility. Radio stations across the Dirty South, places where T.I. was once considered an untouchable deity, have begun quietly removing his new single from their primetime rotations. The narrative has shifted permanently from rap legend to deadbeat dad. Public opinion is now fractured into two volatile camps. One side, the old guard, argues that 50 Cent has violated the sacred code of hip-hop by involving an innocent daughter in a professional rivalry. They claim that Leah's pain is being weaponized for views and clicks. But the new generation isn't hearing it. They see a man who preached one thing and lived another. They see a hypocrite who used high-priced lawyers to bully a girl working a 9-to-5 job. The heat is so intense that even the legal world is weighing in. High-profile family attorneys are appearing on news networks, explaining that T.I.'s NDAs might be completely void if they were signed under duress or used to bypass state child support laws. T.I. is no longer just fighting 50 Cent. He is fighting the court of public opinion, and he is losing by a landslide. As the pressure mounts, the question everyone is asking is, how many more? 50 Cent's GoFundMe for Leah has already surpassed its goal, but he hinted that Leah is just the first pin on the map. He claimed his investigators have found 3 other secret realities across Georgia. The industry is in a state of absolute panic. Every rapper who lived a double life in the 2000s is now looking at their phone with shaking hands, waiting for 50 Cent to post their name. But just as the firestorm reached its peak, 50 Cent posted a picture of a red folder on a desk with a pair of handcuffs next to it. The caption simply read, "Sunday, the final chapter." It's not just about the daughter anymore. Just when the world thought the drama had reached its peak with the secret daughter reveal, 50 Cent dropped a soul-crushing revelation that turned a family scandal into a criminal investigation. In a teaser for the full documentary episode, 50 Cent is seen sitting in a dimly lit studio across from Leah. He asks her a question that felt like a gunshot. "Do you hate him for the money?" Leah looks directly into the lens, tears streaming down her face, and her response shattered the internet. She says, "I don't hate him for the money, 50. I hate him because he told me I was a mistake. He told me that if the world found out about me, his perfect family and his TV show would be ruined. He chose a VH1 contract over his own daughter's life." But that wasn't the final twist. Not even close. In the final seconds of the teaser, the screen goes dark and 50 Cent's voiceover cuts through the silence. He reaches under his desk and pulls out a bright red folder, the same one from the earlier leaks. He looks at the camera with that infamous cold G-Unit smirk and says, "T.I., you think this is just about Leah? Leah is the one who wanted to talk. This red folder right here? This is about the paperwork you signed in 2009. The one where you didn't just name your daughter, you named your partners in that federal weapons case." The world stopped spinning. The implication was a nuclear strike on T.I.'s legacy. Is 50 Cent saying that the secret daughter was used as a bargaining chip? Did T.I. trade the silence of his child for a lighter sentence in his infamous 2009 federal case? 50 Cent is essentially alleging that T.I. is not just a deadbeat dad, but the ultimate snitch who used his own child's existence to negotiate with the feds. The documents in the red folder supposedly link the NDA T.I. forced Leah's mother to sign directly to his federal cooperation agreement. If this is true, it doesn't just end T.I.'s rap career, it makes him the most hated man in the history of the streets. T.I.'s only response to the red folder was a single, cryptic post on his Instagram story. "A storm is coming, but the king knows how to swim." Truth has many layers. But fans noticed a detail that sent the internet into a fresh panic. In the reflection of the window behind T.I., you could clearly see moving boxes and several blacked-out SUVs. Reports are now swirling that the Harris family is preparing to leave Atlanta before the full documentary drops on Sunday. 50 Cent's final words on the matter before going silent. Surviving T.I. and Tiny. The finale. Dropping Sunday at midnight. Bring your tissues and your lawyer's tip. It's over. The king is about to be checkmated by the daughter he tried to bury. The suspense is now unbearable. The Harris family is fractured, the industry is terrified, and a 22-year-old girl who is working a 9 to 5 last week is now holding the keys to the kingdom. The final twist isn't just about a secret daughter, it's about a secret betrayal that goes back 17 years. This is the moment of truth. We have seen the diss tracks, we have seen the memes, but we have never seen a betrayal this deep. What do you think? Is 50 Cent a hero for giving this secret daughter a voice, or is he a villain for using a young girl's pain to destroy his rival? Does T.I. deserve to lose his entire legacy over this? Or is this a private family matter that should have stayed off the internet? I want to see your comments below. Right, Team 50 if you think the truth must come out at any cost, or Team T.I. if you think 50 Cent has crossed a line that can never be uncrossed. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe right now. We are tracking the G-Unit servers 24/7. As soon as that red folder opens on Sunday at midnight, we will be the first to bring you the full, unedited breakdown of the paperwork that could end T.I.'s career forever. Hit the bell notification. You do not want to miss the next update. Rumor has it that another major Atlanta rapper is mentioned in that red folder, and his reaction has already been leaked. Is the entire Atlanta scene about to fall? Who is the man in the red folder? Stay tuned. The documentary drops in less than 48 hours, and we are just getting started.